So June joined Fractional Sales Consulting. I guess how long ago now did you join Fractional Sales Consulting?
I don't know, it was like 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months ago.
But yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride since. Um, since then, you've gone on to do how much would you say you think you've made since?
With sales coaching, I got some clients with that at 12K contract
Sweet.
value and 8K cash collected. The rest is gonna get collected within the next 15 days, so I'm not worried about that. But I mean, Caleb, you were the one that I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know anything about ads. But you were the one that got me got the ad set up and just running it for me. All of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, Jude, like you're running ads now. What are you running ads for?" And you're the one that got me one client with that. So kudos to you.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And that's exactly what I like to spend a little bit of time, I think, today running through because one of the things that fractional sales consulting, whether you guys have intended to call it or not, we talk about is kind of the premise of sales coaching. If you've got sales experience, there's a couple different ways you can go about monetizing that, right? One is to get a client. In the wake of getting a client, a bunch of people will just figure out what you do and learn about how you sell and be interested in that. And so June's like a textbook example of someone who had a ton of sales experience, still in the process of getting a client, not quite gotten one locked down yet.
I mean,
Couple different
it's gonna be a
negotiations.
yeah, it's gonna be a matter of time though, because with your organic methods that you taught me before, like I think you told me one of the things that you made an impact on me was where you told me, hey Jude, no one gives a fuck. You can beep that out. You can blur that out by the way, but no one gives a fuck. Just post. Like the
Yep.
big dogs like Alex Ramosi or Sam Ovens, they don't give a fuck, whatever what people talk about. So just post it, post it. I was like, oh shoot, that makes sense. So people don't know, but I have been posting my whole entire career until 3 months ago, 2 months ago. And
Yeah, and
people now
right out the
recognize
gate,
me
it
pretty
seems to
easily.
pop.
Yeah, so now with that, just organically, I got three leads coming in with FSC, and I'm just literally just got a call booked tomorrow where I think it's going to be a very, very easy closing.
Yeah, and this was a follow-up from I believe you guys had met once before, and then there was whatnot that had happened then. But now he's come full circle. He's realized that there's a bunch of holes in his sales process in his business, and he needs a G or an FSC, one and the same, to come in and fix things up for him. What would you say your expectations were coming into fractional sales consulting? Because I know that it was just like it's this thing that exists, and it was. I feel like once you kind of met us in person or met me in person, that's when I feel like maybe things kind of sunk into place a little bit more. But yeah, what was your expectations coming in, and what was kind of like that inflection point that actually got you that certainty to kind of make that
So I have no problem being a sales guy, actually. I think I'm pretty decent in sales with the experience that I have also.
decent is an
But
understatement.
that means a lot to me. But for me, like I don't want to have regrets in life. It's funny because I was trying to do rental arbitrage in Dubai, actually. Funny enough, and I bought a course and I got it refunded because I knew that I couldn't do it anymore. Like I just really legally I cannot do it, so I got a refund. But like I was looking for ways to be a business owner. I always wanted to be a business owner. Always wanted to try also. I'll give a fuck about whether I fail or not. I just wanted to give it a try. I was like, okay, what's the best way to leverage my sales experiences? Because I've gone through a lot of management, even under yours also. So I know what good management looks like, bad management looks like. So
Yeah,
yeah. So I was like, okay, I wanna use my sales experiences and the process that I've learned so far, and my marketing experience as well, and just really combine all of that. I mean, the marketing experience I don't have that a lot, but I know that I can learn that to really just up my game up real quick and combine that and make that as a business, make that as an off. That's where you came in because you were my manager, I think a year ago, 2 years ago, or something like that. And I
yeah.
know your
So when we
position.
first crossed
You're
paths.
getting paid very hefty for that position. I know that because after you left, they asked me like, "Hey, like anyone know? And you know anyone?" And it was a 15K a month position with a good override. I was like, "Wow, Caleb was getting paid that much, huh?" So
I will say transparently, they definitely. Well, that's not what they were compensating. Was it good? Yes, but I don't. It wasn't 15K a month as far as that was. But
oh,
anyhow, that's
really?
its own story. No,
Well,
no,
they,
no.
they
Yeah,
were
they
they
weren't
were
that.
that was a requirement they had also. That was a payroll that they had at least.
Yeah,
Hey, Jude,
yeah.
you know anyone? Anyways, so I was like, oh, okay. Well, Caleb is doing that. He's making some big moves, and I want to do that also. I want to try it out. Let's see how it works, and
Yeah.
that's why we're here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and so I think from that, there was a little bit of time that you'd still spent some, phases in your journey as far as the sales, just being the remote closer. I remember there was kind of like an incident in particular right before that, like that moment to join where you were like, okay, that was like the line in the sand of, this closing stuff is great, but there's got to be more to it. So that's why I'm curious, like, what was like the actual like breaking point where it was like, what was the logic in your mind? Obviously, I think you knew me and had the trust in the relationship, but let's say I didn't exist or was part of the picture. What was like the logic that was okay? I think there has to be a higher leverage or maybe something more to this whole sales
So, like I said, if I don't want to have regrets. I was like, what is the best way to leverage my experience to actually make this a business, Like I want to try it out once and for all. So that was the thought process behind it. Second of all is I want to name names, but didn't have the most ideal situation in my closing position back then where I felt like my hard work was taken advantage of also. And I understood that my commissions was not under my control, but on the business owners as well. And I was like, okay. And there was a meeting where I did with a business owner. And I was trying to ask a simple question, and the business owner was like, don't ask me questions. Like, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, you are right. I am working for you, huh? Okay. That was
Sure.
like that was a blow. That was a hit in the gut. And I was like, okay, well, let's make this happen then. Let's make this work.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And I would say like the reason why I kind of allude to that is like that pain or that moment there was something that I've experienced even myself within my own career. I know a ton of other salespeople run into that where, the higher up either changes something or just is completely like, the management energy changes where you realize, oh, these guys don't actually care about it. I'm just a cog in my machine for the most part. So after I think pulling the trigger to join, how was it in the beginning as far as kind of getting yourself up and running? I would say I mean, you went particularly fast as far as just like taking action, executing on things. Was it a little bit counterintuitive compared to the typical goal and land decline? Yes, you went harder down the coaching direction, but you went fast as far as content, building a little bit of your brand, getting people who are reaching out to you, building the buzz, and even now, if you look at what you've built over the last 2 months or so, some of it's larger than mine. I think about your channel that you have got now that you've built. It's actually got more subs than mine. So yeah, that's where, how was like the first, once you made that shift and actually got on it, like what was that like for you? What sort of fears or anxieties do you feel like maybe you had at the start that maybe you don't have now? Like what was that transformation?
What was counterintuitive for me was understanding marketing, first of all, understanding marketing, and second of all, overcoming my own imposter syndrome. Like, I mean, I'm not like a newbie, but I'm not like super experienced also. I'm like 5 years in sales. So I was like, okay, I don't have that much of a marketing experience, first of all. Overall, like, who's gonna listen to me? There's sales. I mean, there are people that must be better than me in sales. So there are some things that was holding me back. But you told me again, right? Like no one gives a fuck at the end of the day. Like these big dogs, they don't care. They don't care about what the other people talk about them. They just do what they're meant to do. So and see how you operate because I was invited to your house in Medellin once and you were like creating ads just right on the spot. It only took you 2 hours. I was like, okay, this is how like the big dogs operate, huh? Like this how like okay, well, I'm not trying to put you on a pedestal, but
No, I
you get
say
what I'm saying
I'm
though. Oh,
definitely
this is
far. I'm definitely far from a big dog. But yeah, I remember that. I think you had said it too, where I was like, I remember you saying distinctly, it was like, oh, these guys aren't even thinking about like what reframe or what objection to overcome there needs to be. It's like sales and sales skills, just for the sake of getting better at selling, was so far out of the conception. It was like, what's all the stuff we can do before the sales? That was a lot of fun too. It was fun having you in and getting the time to do that. And I would
but
say
overall, it
for
wasn't
those of you
really that
guys,
counterintuitive because like I know I got the skills. I know I got the experience also that a lot of people out there. And seeing people like seeing sales team like suck, like it's just like their skills level suck. So I know I know I could provide value. When you told me about that, when I actually saw the reality, I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna help this business out. That's where I'm at.
yeah. And from that, I think it was, I mean, we launched you with ads right out the gate, started to get some traction and buzz on top of the content that you were doing, played around with some different ideas and angles. One of the most recent ones, I think we spent was 450 that we had put out into ads, and that was a 3K client, I believe.
Yeah.
And that seemed pretty straightforward, it was somewhat of a layup. So, but what was your, I just have a hard time even thinking of like next other questions to ask what people would be curious about. But I mean, thinking about where you started to where you are now, do you think you kind of be in the place you are now before you're joining FSC? And like how much of your success would you attribute to, I think maybe the shifts either personally or externally that were made having kind of been around what FSC is, what it is we're trying to build.
Here's the thing, right? Again, it comes down to the bigger picture for you. Like your program is very, very aerotype, by the way, very structured. But I'm the type of guy that also likes to put in my taste also. So as I'm putting my taste, what you've done really well also is that you put a structure behind it. Put a structure every time. Like you're not afraid to tell me, hey June, what's going on over there? Like let's get him on let's get on one-on-one. Like I haven't been in a lot of coaching programs where the coach is proactive to, hey, student, get on a call with me. So you
Yeah,
helped me a lot in that process. In the middle, I know that you care. Like I just know that you care. And that was the
truly.
biggest driving, yeah. I mean, that was the biggest driving factor. And you told me that, hey, June, I'm gonna set up the ads for you. Like, let's get the ads going. Like, what resource do you have? Can you create this resources? You've done everything for me. I was like, geez, like, this guy's literally just going the extra mile. So I mean, I
Yeah.
can't complain about what you've done for me.
No, 1,000%. And I appreciate, yeah, I guess for me, it's just, I didn't even think much of it in the moment. It's just like, well, this is what you do, right? I mean, you just get the client results. So, now is it quite necessarily to, I mean, obviously I feel like I've got high expectations. We both have high expectations of things. So is it quite to the height that I think we know it's capable of reaching? No, but in 60 days or 30 days, and having done the amount that you did as quickly as you did with the foundation that you now have, the brand you now have, the recognition you now have in the space, like those are things that you'll never lose. You know, you'll never lose your following, you never lose your reputation. It's just been built so solid that it opens up more doors and more opportunities. And obviously, when it comes to the coaching end of things, we'll continue to, run ads, try new things, and continue to push and grow you in that direction, right? Because I want to see huge eyes with that. I also think too on the FSC side, yeah, it's just a matter of time. Like you've got the deals, you've got like you've got the opportunity in front of you. It's just kind of working that. And that's more on their end, the client side, more so than yours, as far as them just, I think, coming to their senses and submitting to the fact that, hey, Joon knows this better than we do. So we should just probably give it a shot. What have we got to lose? Because you've got all the social proof, beyond proof, social proof that you can coach and help people. So,
Yeah. And I mean,
so
there's
yeah.
one deal also coming through. I haven't mentioned about it, but there's also one deal coming through. Like the guy, potential client is actually coming to Dubai, end of the
Mm,
month. We're
mm,
gonna do like an in-person meeting real quick also. So I mean, he's in my pipeline also. I mean, I'm also his client as well. So like it's gonna happen at one point, I'm not even worried.
yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. What advice would you give for someone who is skeptical about FSC and is sitting on the edge and they're like, I don't know, is this worth it? Is this legit? Is this the real deal? You know how people are with coaching programs. I mean, you've been in about sales long enough for them. So, yeah, what would you say for anyone who's like sitting on the fence, maybe watching this, considering pulling the trigger?
Well, I'm not gonna say like just do it, obviously. This program's not for everyone. Like, I mean, if you have less than like 1 year or 2 years experience, you need to build that experience first of all. Right? You need to have some experience in your belt for sure. But let's say you have like 1 years or 2 years of experience in your belt, and you're like, you can do more, but you feel like you don't want to like getting on sales calls and working for someone else. Like, if that's what willing to sell for, like if that's what you want to do and that's like and you want to keep like you're okay with offer hopping or just I don't know, staying once like whatever it is. If you're okay with that, do that. But I feel like there's something more that you can try out with your sales skills, with what you've seen with management and you feel like you could have done more, or that's a great management style and I can adopt that. Like try it out, try it out. Like what have you got to lose, really? Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, who knows? You might get a pretty killer personal brand out of it too. Be recognized as a sales expert in the space, and if people come to you for sales coaching. So,
right. I mean,
yeah,
like if you see how the marketing guys operate, right? How people are really good at marketing operate also. That will really open up your eyes a lot. I think I'll end it with this. Patrick Bet David said, if you want to make a really good multiple six figures or even seven, get into sales, but if you really want to make the big money, then you got to learn how like 8 figures, 9 figures, 10 figures. Like you need to get that marked out.
that
I
is
mean,
true.
combine your sales skills. Now you have the sales skills after 1 years of 2 years of experiences also hustling through, mastering the skill set, and then imagine what you can do with other skill set with marketing. And you combine those both and actually provide value for business owners, like you'd be deadly.
Well, let's say become sales surgical. Love to get those sales edge. And I say that because if those guys were curious as well, June's now got his own brand and everything that's going on, kind of as a product of FSC and some of his own stuff. So, June, for anybody who's curious too and is watching this, you might not really be at that 2 year mark or that experience, but maybe could use some more sales training. I would say June definitely gets the stamp of full validation or recommendation on my side. How can they reach out to you? Where's the best place for them to contact you?
Follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to be an Instagram cutie here right now. It's June Choi. That's my handle. Find me over there, add me on Facebook also. I'm very active on Facebook as well, posting every single day. Find me over there as well.
Sweet. Love it. That's June, Fractional Sales Consultant. And yeah, see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Peace. Ciao.